Hi, I am IT PhD, and today we will continue our adventures in ncurses library. So we made last time in our previous lesson, we made a kind of prototype for the game, for roguelike game or for snake game. We could go anywhere from here. So today we will start making actually roguelike game. I think it will be fun to make some map, some dungeon where we will be able to go with our character. So first of all, let's simplify our program a bit. It's our program which we made last time, so let's make it a bit delete all excessive stuff here. So let's delete symbol input. So previously when we started our program, we had to enter, user had to enter symbol which we were able to travel around. So let's remove this thing because it's not really important. Yeah, now we know how get works, so we do not need it anymore. And we will just simply use dog sign, this sign. So it will be like this. Yeah, you see? So we remove this not necessary stuff. Let's create a dungeon. So how to create dungeon in terminal? In all roguelike games it's done like this, even in modern ones. So we make a cycle. We make a cycle with some force. So let's do it. We will print some stuff. We do not need clear anymore because we will fill all the field, all console field with some characters. But first, before we'll start even our main game cycle, first we will need to understand area of our game screen. So to do it, we have very nice function. So we will add two variables, rows and columns. So we create these two variables. We do not need to initiate them. We will do it a bit later. So the function, curse function, to get sizes of the field of the terminal, it's get max yx, and it has its return value. It takes value from our screen and it returns value to our to rows and columns which we created. So if we will make print v, not printf because we're using curses, and we will make like rows d and calls. We wanna to show what's the width and height of our screen. We will do it like this. So it will be row and call. And now if we will run it, we will see that this terminal it's 30 rows height and 120 columns width. So it's actually our limits for the screen. By the way, it's different in different terminals. So if we will use Linux shell to compile our program and we will start it, you see here it's 80. So actually 80 it's kind of standard. So most terminals they have 80 columns minimum and 22 minimum rows. But yeah, you see I use standard Windows terminal which is bigger, but actually we could even look into the properties and change these values. So it's customizable. Anyway, we just for now we will need just get max and get max. So this program will work at any screen. Now let's fill these coordinates with certain values. To do so, we will use for cycle. We could use even simple like while for now. But yeah, let's start with the for. First, we need to initialize our y coordinates. So we will go through our like two-dimensional array. We will make it a bit later, but first let's go like this. So we create our y coordinate. It starts with 0. Then if our y coordinate it's more or equal to rows, so it works while it's less or equal to rows. Yeah, and let's call it rows and calls. It will be easier to understand that what we mean, because it's like kind of maximum. So it will be rows, and we go forward. Every step we go forward. Now let's make the same int. It will be x this time. So it's simple for loop. We will go through y's first and then through x's at second step. So while x less than equal to calls x plus plus. And what we will do, we basically will print. We will we could just add character, but if we will do it like this, it will add it in the cursor place. So we need to put it in certain place. That's why we use mv add character. If you do not recognize this stuff, just watch my previous video, previous guide. So we will walk through y, x's, and we will put wall here. So we will fill all stuff with walls like this. So okay, we have here some errors. I've just made some typos, because when you make video you're a bit nervous, so yeah. It happens. So what we made such field, and this is our character, by the way. So we filled everything with walls. We will call such symbols as walls. It's fun, but yeah, we need some space, we need some room. So we do not want to fill everything with the walls. What to do? Let's make some empty spot around our character. So we will check, we will add some checks. Actually, by the way, it's funny that in a lot of roguelike games, and I develop one of them, Tangaria, there are used such way of doing it, simplified way to apply some stuff at the map. How it's done? It's made like in several cycles. So let me show this primitive but very understandable way. So we made first we made this field with the walls. So now let's make small place without walls. How to do it? So we will just do the same thing, but we will fill small part of the field with empty characters. And how to find out? We will start like, we will just make limit half of the field. So it will go like this. So you see, if we will make like we first of all we filled everything with the walls, and now we made second go at the whole field, and we kind of half of the rows and half of the columns we filled with empty spot. Of course, we do not want to make it like this. Simplest way it's just to start from certain spot, like for example from this coordinate, and now it will look better. It looks like a room already, and you see our character could move around. So we made such room very easily. So for the sake of simplicity it will do for now, and actually we could move this stuff to separate functions. So our dungeon creation will stay in separate function. Let's make a function which we will call dungeon, and let's define it here like int dungeon, and we will just put all this stuff here. Yeah. The thing is that we need to have all these variables. They should be accessible into this function, because if we will do it like this, you see it doesn't work. So we need at least to give some rows and columns and calls to this dungeon. Or what we could do, we can just define it as global variables. But I think let's train a bit how to make functions. It's good. So we put, by the way, it's wrong, like rows and columns. Yeah. So now it works, you see. We moved part of the code from main loop there, which is a nice thing to do. So we wouldn't be distracted on it. But actually, right now what we have, we want to make our character not be able to move through walls. So we need to make a coordinate system. So we can't just check easily what it's here. We need to explain our program, our computer, how to access this information. So it should be stored that in this coordinate there is such symbol. We should store it somewhere, because right now we are just putting it on the screen with this command. To store it, we need to create an array. And if you code everything in your main function, it will be all right to make array right here. But as we moved our dungeon creation to separate function, we need to create global array. And to make global array, it's very easy thing in C language. We will define it like this. So it will be like, let's call it map. And it's a tricky thing here a bit, because when you decline array, you should define its sizes. Otherwise, it should be dynamic array, which will go from pointer, which is quite hard for newcomers to comprehend. So we will start with some simple way. We will just make a two-dimensional array with such sizes of our terminal. So with y it's 6. And what's dimensional array? It's kind of matrix. What is matrix? It's very simple thing. It's kind of stuff like this. So this is array which has x elements and y elements. So basically 30, it means how much rows we have, and this stuff, it's how much columns we have. And in each place we can access. So if I'll go like this, map array starts with 0, we will access to the first element of array. If we will go like 0, 1, we will access to second. So let me just demonstrate how it works, and it will be understandable. So we made such array where we want to fill it with our walls or empty spaces. So our character will be able to understand what's in this spot. To do so, we will do it right in our dungeon creation. We will fill this array. So to do so, we will need some spot to make some additional function. Not even a function, we will just put a value. So now let's fill our kind of database. We could consider that our array is a database which store information about our terrain. So to access elements of array, we use these square brackets here. So it will be y and x, and it will be equal. So we will define here walls. Very simple way to do it. And here the same, y x equal to wall. So now let's run it to see, do we have some errors? No, we do not have some errors. And now let's take a look, did we put it inside or not? To do so, let's use this. Okay, I already wrote this line. So it will print element of the array. So first element of the array. Okay, you see, our first element of array, it's all right, it works. So we managed to fill our array. So now we have database with terrain features, which is pretty cool. And now the only thing left, we should move control of our character compared with our database. So how to do it? We will add here we have check on movement of our character movement. So if we will press, let's by the way make it more effective, like make it else if. So we will, if user entered key up, our program wouldn't need to spend resources at other checks. So it's kind of more effective code. And let's make it more kind of beautiful. So yeah, we will need to add here some checks for the map. So we will need check that map at this spot, at this particular spot, it's empty. It's not a wall. So we access our array at the point as our character point right now yx. So at the beginning we initialized it's f1111. So our character in yx. So it means that if our character go up, so we need to check this spot at the map. So it will be y-1 spot x. So if it's equal to empty space, then we can go. Yeah. The same thing to all other stuff. Yeah, by the way, let's check it immediately. Better to do all the stuff. You see? Okay. No, we made a mistake here. Okay, it's yet another typo. It's funny. Yeah, I made it here. Yeah, you see? Because we should put to our database a proper character. Okay, let's save it and run again. So now we can't go up, you see? I'm trying to press up, and when it's a wall, I can't go up here. So the same, but other stuff we could go. Always test stuff when you just start to do something. It will be much easier to find mistakes, so errors. Test everything with minimal portions. Here will be the same thing, but we go down. So if it's equal to empty space, and we could actually like copy it and replace it like this: x-1, x+1, and yeah. So let's test it. Yeah, now we can't pass walls. I'm trying to pass walls and I can't do it. So we made our first legged room where our character could operate around. So now what we can do here, we could also move our controls, like our movement, also to another function. So let's create function move, and we will define it here. Of course, it's better if your function will return like something in case of error. So let's create function. It's always fun to make functions because it makes your code easier to comprehend. But of course, we need to pass something to function, so it will get this stuff. So let's give it C. What else we use here? we use this stuff. It's array, so we have access to it from anywhere because it's global array here. And we need to pass x and y. Yeah. So let's pass c, y, x. And let's put it here. Int c, int y, int x. Let's start our program. This is super funny error, which you should... it's very cool that we triggered it. So what's the thing? We use move. And move, it's actually a function which is reserved in cursors. So we can't use move. Move is special function to move cursor, actually. So we should call it like movement. Yeah, like this. And now, okay, when we press right, it works, but when I press right several times, it doesn't work. When we press down, it works once. When we press up, it works once. So you see, it doesn't work. It works only on small field. What could be the problem here? The problem is that we're using here local variables, and we do not return anything from this function. So in all functions, they're independent. Within their local variables, they're independent from main function, from other functions. So it's the same stuff as with the dungeon, where we had to make a global array. Here we have the same problem. So if we give to this function these variables, local variables, they, after we change them, or with this stuff, they stay here. So for example, we pressed up, we changed y variable, and it's changed only in this function. That's why it's show us correct movement. But after this, y doesn't change here. So it's changed only in this function. How to solve this problem? Just make these variables global. It's kind of the easiest way to do it. So we'll just put them on top like this. And yeah, we do not need to give it to the function. So we do like this. And now, when we use global variables, we change them anywhere, and we could have some fun like this. So we have two functions, and it's a bit easier to read the code. Thank you very much for watching. Next time we will start from this point. I hope this video helped you, and we will make some more progress. Have a good day. Don't forget to subscribe at my channel. Bye bye.